And we are tracking severe thunderstorms as they are pushing into the Austin metro. Time right now is 10:50. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for easternmost sections of Blanco County, southeast Burnett County, much of Travis County, southern Williamson County, parts of Hayes County. All of this because of basically a big storm that is bringing pretty good chance of wind damage to the Austin area. Paul says hello from Cedar Creek. Nice talking to you. Not quite under a warning in Bastrop County yet, but if these storms hold together, plan on that possibility. Damaging wind gusts are the biggest concern. Larry in Wimberley is waiting, and it's going to be there before you know it, Larry. Mac, hi to you. Bob in Rockdale, thanks for checking in from Milam County. I see that storm up there as well. So a couple of features I want to show you. Dinshin, hello, says it is crazy out there in Johnson City, I bet. Estimated time for Round Rock. So you've already seen the gust front from the northern storms move through Round Rock. The initial gust front probably was about 40-mile-per-hour winds. Now you're waiting for the big line that's moving out of the hill country, pushing from west to east. So for Round Rock, I would estimate you're probably going to see the storms roll through within the next 40 minutes or so. They're trucking. They're moving about 50 miles per hour. Danny, hello. No sidekicks tonight. I'm at the station until Austin Burks, our weekend meteorologist. He's pinch hitting tomorrow for Avery Tomasco. He'll be in the morning, and we're doing our baton toss at 1 a.m. Leslie checking in from Buda. How are you? Abel checking in as well, asking about hail in Round Rock. We'll answer all those questions for you. Charles, Chris, Douglas, thanks for checking in tonight. All right, so first things first, let me get to the radar, and I'm going to show you where we stand in terms of wind. So if you take a look right here, this thing that looks like a backwards C, that is what we call a bow echo in meteorological terminology. And essentially, if you imagine a bow and an arrow, that bow kind of arcs out, and at the apex of the bow is where you see the strongest winds typically. So based on where the bow is, I would expect that we would see the most effect of damaging winds probably right in that center of the bow. And as you can see, it is working its way eastward right toward Austin and I-35. But wait, there's also an outflow boundary right here. This is the gust front from the previous storms that were up in Burnett, Llano, and Williamson counties. And so it has sent a southward moving outflow boundary that brought some 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts out in advance of it. So not only do you have the potential of 60 mile per hour, maybe even 70 mile per hour winds out of the system that's moving east of Highway 281, but you also have this other boundary. And sometimes when boundaries collide, crazy things happen. So I'm going to be watching this junction point for a while where the two outflow boundaries are meeting up to see if anything tries to explode. Let's hope nothing happens to that effect. And also, let's take a look because there is potential of seeing some hail with these storms, possibly as high as quarter size. You can see right now in purple, that is where the hail is being indicated. I'm pleased to say that as long as we're in the purple, typically that does not correspond to severe hail. You can see there were some blues though earlier right across Highway 281. I'm actually going to back it up in time just a little bit. Looks like right about here, which was at 10:35, about 15 minutes or so ago, just north of Johnson City. That there has all the makings of being severe hail. I bet you anything there was possibly quarter size or larger hail falling right out of the storm as it was pushing through areas just north of Johnson City along Highway 281. Also near Kingsland, it looks like there may have been some severe hail. But the current view is quite a bit more tame. Here we are at 10:54, which is our current time. And I'll go ahead and query these hail indications, and it's showing pea-sized hail, pea to marble-sized hail. So typically when I'm looking at our radar, as long as we're not in the blue, we're usually pretty good. But once we get into the blue, then that is damaging hail, the kind that could cause you to have to get your roof replaced and that kind of thing, which we do not want to have happen. So hopefully that answers the question that we had just a bit ago about hail. There is also one other severe thunderstorm warning farther to the south and west that includes portions of Kerr and I believe also Kendall counties to southwest of Gillespie County. And then a storm that thank goodness is not heading toward us. It's way to the south near Camp Wood. I'm just going to query this to show you how large the hail is being indicated there. And and drumroll please, golf ball sized hail. You definitely don't want golf balls falling out of the sky on you. So that's where we stand as far as hail. And by the way, Bob said he was up in Milam County. Looks like there are some small indications of non-severe hail, northeast Milam County, and also about to the northwest of Cameron. So there is a little bit of small hail also being indicated there. But for the most part, it looks to me like wind will be the primary threat, although we will have to watch. It looks like this little pixel in purple is starting to intensify. I'll go ahead and put this into motion over the last hour. Maybe not intensifying too much, but let me go ahead and query this little pixel of purple marble-sized hail. I'll go ahead and zoom in for you for those of you who want to know exactly where could that hail be falling. This is in northwest Travis County, and it's going to be south of Hamilton Pool Road and near McGregor Lane and Vista Oaks Drive, Lake Canyon, Live Oak Canyon Road, easy for me to say, Madrone Canyon Drive. So if you were in that portion of, or sorry, not northwest Hayes County, let me correct myself, not too far away from Hamilton Pool Road, there may be some hail for you to contend with. Now let me show you the wind, because the wind is certainly something that we need to be mindful of. National Weather Service just put out a continuation of the severe thunderstorm warning, still in effect until 11:30, and also a special weather statement that includes Milam County from the National Weather Service up in Fort Worth, saying strong thunderstorms will affect that area with 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. So those of you up in Milam County, near Cameron, near Milano, near Rockdale, and points north and east, you too could be seeing some nasty wind. Okay, so here's our wind tracker. And in general, all the colors you see in green are going toward the radar. In case you're wondering where the radar is, this kind of helps understand. New Braunfels is where the National Weather Service EWX radar is located. So any of the winds that are moving toward the radar are going to appear in green. Any of the winds that are moving away from the radar are going to be appearing in red. In this instance, it is very clear that we are not dealing with rotation. These are all straight line winds. But whenever you have enhancement, and remember that bow echo, which is basically extending out of Blanco County and into Hayes County, you can see some very strong gusty winds. I'll go ahead and query this. Near Dripping Springs to south of Highway 290, not too far away from Driftwood, showing 53-mile-per-hour winds possible. Let's go up toward areas into northern Blanco County. There's a possibility of 63-mile-per-hour winds. And then we also have near Johnson City, 56-mile-per-hour winds. Now, though the radar is indicating this, we also have to keep in mind one other thing, and this is getting a little sciencey on you. But at the weather radar site, the radar can't shoot straight out. It shoots at an elevation. So typically it shoots at a 0.5 degree elevation, which means the farther away from the radar, the higher up in elevation that radar beam is shooting. So when it's shooting and it's getting these returns back, it's showing that at an elevation of however many feet, that there are 50, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible. So sometimes the winds actually reaching the ground are not quite as high as what is being indicated on radar. Let's also go ahead and look at southeastern sections of Burnett County and see what the radar is indicating here in terms of winds. 58-mile-per-hour winds being indicated, 64-mile-per-hour winds. So you get the idea. The biggest concern with these storms will likely not be hail. We're probably not going to see enough rain for flooding, but we are going to see potential for maybe some wind damage, possibility of seeing some trees down. And as you can see, the severe thunderstorm warning kind of encompasses the area that I indicated, which is at the apex of those storms, the apex of that bow echo, which is a classic signature for potential wind damage. Something I've been monitoring on radar and as well on social media is, are there actually any reports of ground truth wind damage or indications of severe wind? So the bow echo that moved earlier, about 2 hours ago, through Llano and Burnett counties yielded 52-mile-per-hour wind gust in Burnett, a 51-mile-per-hour wind gust in Llano. So that is sub-severe. You have to be 58 miles per hour or greater, which is basically a threshold that is typically where you see for significant damage. So that's why that's considered the threshold for severe thunderstorm. And in terms of hail, the severe thunderstorm threshold is 1-inch diameter hail, which is the size of quarters. So clearly we have seen some very strong winds, but I don't necessarily know if we've seen a lot of damage. That said, there is a Twitter account. There's a gentleman named Noah Gomez who administers a Burnett County weather. If you look at Burnett Weather, Burnett WX on Twitter, I asked earlier, is there any wind damage being reported? And Noah responded and said there was a transformer fire in Burnett County. The 3200 block of County Road 112 was listed as a possible fire. In addition, tree debris was listed at Burnett County on County Road 137. So thus far, those are the only spots that I have heard actual reports of legitimate damage. That said, I would urge you to, as a precaution, stay indoors. And let's say if you're in downtown Austin and you've got like some patio furniture that could go flying with strong gusty winds, you've got a little bit of time to go get it inside. But once this line that's right over Bee Cave is where the strongest winds are likely now approaching, once this pushes through, you're going to want to hunker down and stay indoors, because then you not only have the heavy rain and the wind, but you also have dangerous lightning. So there we stand. Okay, a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued that includes farther south into Hayes County and also to cover portions of Comal County, northwest side of Bayer County. So this essentially is going to mean the National Weather Service is taking the entire extent of this bow echo from top to bottom and putting out an all-encompassing severe thunderstorm warning in place. A warning means conditions are occurring or imminent. A watch means it's possible. So just plan on imminent strong winds, which could be enough to cause some damage. So that is the new severe thunderstorm warning. That it does include San Marcos. So those of you in San Marcos, you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. That went in effect until midnight. Current time is 11:02 if you're joining me right now. The worst of the storms will be moving through the Austin metro in the next hour. So the worst is coming in the next hour. After that, any rain that is later on will likely not be severe. It'll just be the beneficial rain. So now is the time to stay indoors. Now is the time to be sheltered. So according to the National Weather Service, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible for the southernmost areas. That's the new warning that includes San Marcos and sections to the south and west. And hail up to quarter size is also possible. At this point, I am still looking to see. There was a report of some smaller hail up in Austin area. Let's see, there was a 43-mile-per-hour wind gust reported at Horseshoe Bay there in Burnett County. And I thought I saw something at Cypress Creek. Oh, Cypress Mill. There was a report in Cypress Mill. Let me see where I can find it. Of some smaller hail. Let's see, where did it go? I'm scrolling through. Where did you go? Round Mountain reporting a 67-mile-per-hour gust. That's in Blanco County. So 67-mile-per-hour gust reported there. 50-mile-per-hour average winds. That's definitely enough to cause some damage. Okay, there you go. Pea-sized hail, strong wind gusts were reported in Cypress Mill with that system pushing through. National Weather Service has revised its severe thunderstorm warning. This is the one that's still in effect for Travis, Williamson, portions of eastern Burnett, and portions of eastern Blanco County, in effect until 11:30. 60-mile-per-hour winds possible. That actually is down. Earlier, the wind max was 70, so that's actually a good thing that the winds are suggested to not be quite as high. And hail up to nickel size, which is sub-severe, which is also a good thing. We don't want to have severe hail. So you may even be able to note, if you looked right about here when the storms rolled through with the purples, they were a little stronger. And so the storms are somewhat weaker. However, there is still that bow echo showing up. And so it's for good reason that you guys stay indoors and take it easy. All right, so the storms are moving to the east at about 50 miles per hour. I'm just going to confirm, I'm going to query this to make sure that the wind speed hasn't changed, or that the direction, should I say, hasn't changed. So let's see, severe thunderstorm warning still in effect until, let's see, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Oh, and you know what? I just realized one other thing. Stand by. I actually need to call and make sure our master control is running the warning, because I neglected to tell them to do that. Stand by. I'm going to quickly take care of this. Hey, it's Chicago. How are you? Doing well. Just a couple things. Until 3 a.m. we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, so if you can run the crawl every half hour. And right now we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the Austin Metro, so if you can run continuously until midnight. And then every 30 minutes until 3 a.m. from midnight to 3. Yeah, exactly. And then I may give you a call in about 30 minutes to maybe at 11:30. I may do another cut in on the air just because the storms will be moving right through the metro at that point. Okay, perfect. I appreciate your help. Thanks. Okay, bye. All right. Thanks for bearing with me. I had to take care of my other duties. I was slacking there. So anyway, those of you who are currently joining on Facebook Live, the biggest concerns are, Paul says no kite flying. Nope, no kite flying. Let's see, steady 25 miles per hour. Sherry says your home weather station recorded a 40-mile-per-hour gust. Now, I can believe it. Strong gusty winds. Amy says blowing like crazy in Spicewood. Douglas says almost here in West Buda. All right, so it's bearing down, moving on in. Ready or not, here it comes. And one thing that I think will be interesting to see is whether the winds that are showing up on radar do actually translate. The gust of 67 out toward Round Mountain, that's pretty impressive. So it'll be interesting to see if we have any power outages develop from this. So not a bad idea to make sure you've got all of your devices charged now in the event that the power goes out. Let's see on social media if anybody else is saying things are happening. Lots of chatter about gusty winds, and someone says the weather's really scary. Typically what I'll do when I am in the middle of tracking storms is I like using TweetDeck. I know everyone's got like their different little ways of monitoring social, but I find that Twitter is a really good way of getting like up to the minute quick info on what's happening and where. And so if it's quiet and people aren't talking about damage, that's usually a good thing. One thing that I do want to show is the storm reports thus far. Let me go ahead and pull that up. We'll do storm reports over the last 12 hours just to check and see. And see, this is a really good sign. The fact that we haven't had any significant reports. It looks like there were just a couple reports that came through. And sometimes, let's face it, it's dark outside. People may discover damage later on in the morning once they go out to kind of check in on things. But Llano Municipal Airport, 51-mile-per-hour gust. That was, I believe, in the 8 or 9 o'clock hour, if I'm not mistaken. Small limbs snapped, easy for me to say, and a gust of 52 miles per hour. That was at Burnett Municipal Airport. So the National Weather Service has another update just talking about strong thunderstorm potential and gusty winds, including Blanco, Burnett, Hayes, Travis, all the way through midnight. Winds up to 55 miles per hour will be possible. Also portions of Williamson County. So it is 11:09, and it's good that we haven't had more substantial storm damage reports than that. The Bow Echo continuing to make steady progress. Here is where the line is. I mean, it's actually going to be right in downtown Austin. The guests, get ready, downtown Austin. They're going to be here before you know it. The storms are moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. It's getting a little overzealous with my drawing. 50 miles per hour. So current time is 11:09 and 11:09 for Barton Creek. Wimberley 11:11, Cedar Park 11:13, 11:15 for Sunset Valley, Austin 11:17, Miller right around 11:20, Wells Branch 11:22, 11:23 for Kyle, Round Rock 11:25, Circuit of the Americas 11:28, Del Diamond up in Round Rock, 1130. Manor, 1130. Weberville, 1134. Lytton Springs, right around 1136. And Hutto High School on Highway 79 in Williamson County, right around 1137. Okay, so still good. I'm not seeing any additional reports of damage. A 45-mile-per-hour wind gust at 11:08 was reported at Lago Vista Airport. So that is below severe limits. That's good news. Let's go ahead and zoom into Lago Vista, and it should pop up just shortly. Okay, here we go. So at the airport there in Lago Vista, a 45-mile-per-hour wind gust. Nothing to sneeze at, but fortunately that's not quite high enough to cause any significant damage. I will tell you, I told my husband I wanted him to bring in our lightweight furniture since I haven't been home in a long time. I said, hey, do you want to bring that stuff in? Thanks, love you. So if you are out ahead of these storms before they reach you and you want to make sure that something that could go flying doesn't, you've got a little bit of time. But the storms are quickly racing eastward, moving into Austin as we speak. Winds still possible up to 55, 60 miles per hour. I'll go ahead and check in on the hail again, which I don't believe is getting out of hand, but we'll double check. I see multiple small hail markers. Yeah, any of this is going to be more of the pea-sized variety. But if you were to step outside in these strong gusty winds, I have a very strong hunch that you would be like, wow, I'm going to blow away, because the sound of the whoosh of the air is probably quite impressive as the storms are pushing through the Austin metro as we speak. All right, so the storms are racing. They're moving so quickly. Let me just double check that the motion is still 50 miles per hour, because I feel like they're almost outrunning the severe thunderstorm warning box. The warning's still in effect until 11:30. Moving east 50 miles per hour. That was the last motion per the National Weather Service. It does look like the winds might be, or at least the intensity may be decreasing. And what I look at is I look at the darkest, I'll go ahead and take the lightning layer off. I look at the darkest shades here, which we're pulling through this section here. And notice how these brighter, darker shades here of red have now shifted to the somewhat lighter shades. So that's kind of my clue or my indicator that we may see the storms somewhat weakening. Not to say that we won't still see some damage develop out of them. But one thing that is good to say is that the outflow boundary that was coming out of the northern storms and meeting up with the outflow boundary or the leading edge or gust front of the westward to eastward moving storms, luckily it doesn't look like anything's igniting or happening that's causing any big issues there. So this is just going to be what we call a typical squall line pushing through with very gusty winds. And if there's power outages to be had, then they would likely be had. I just got a report from the Lakeway area of some 40 mile per hour winds and some small hail. So it looks as though this is probably going to be a manageable weather event. Let's see, some small hail also being reported in Leander Hills. That's in northwest Travis County, just to the west of Leander, and about 1/4 of an inch of rain there. By the way, what's interesting is Leander Hills also had some small hail yesterday with those storms that missed most other areas. So worth noting that Leander Hills has had both rounds of storms, while most areas have not seen any of them. All right, so the National Weather Service is updating the line of severe thunderstorms approaching the north side of San Antonio now, with small hail, damaging wind gusts, locally heavy rain, cloud to ground lightning, line of storms moving into the Austin metro, damaging winds, small hail. You get the idea. All of the above are possible and happening as these storms are marching their way from west to east at about 50 miles per hour through the Austin area. So we're currently under severe thunderstorm warning. Time now is 11:14, and there have been thus far limited and fairly minor reports of damage. Remember I was telling you about Noah, who was out in Burnett. He's got a few more reports coming out of Burnett County, electrical hazard, Cottonwood Shores, transformer fire, a couple of those listed, and some tree debris. But overall, that seems like it's somewhat limited. Not as many issues as maybe radar would indicate. But if we were to talk about where the strongest wind gusts would happen, they would be moving right into downtown Austin right now as we speak. So you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you guys on, but I think I'm also going to set up and do a cut-in just because since the storms are moving in earnest into the CBS Austin area and the downtown Austin area, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a cut-in. Let's see, Mac asking, saying, Hail Mary, full of grace. Sounds like it's coming for a Cedar Park visit, says Danny. Other Danny says, a lot of lightning lagging behind the leading edge. Yes, I have the lightning kind of turned to the very smallest, but I'll go ahead and I'll put it back on here for you. And there's a ton of lightning lagging behind the storm. Current view here, and I will query the number of lightning strikes. And there's still lightning out in Mason, even though there's nothing severe there. Number of lightning strikes, 339. So quite the light show, a lot of heavy rain. And as mentioned, the severe thunderstorm warning, that does continue in effect. All right, I'm gonna call Master Control. I'll do a quick cut in, but I'm gonna keep radar up. So you guys will still be able to hear me. You just won't be able to see me do my pointing on the weather wall, which, you know, is what it is. Okay, so I'll go ahead and fire this up. And then we'll do a quick little thing. Let's see, arc flash near our PC. Uh-oh, we don't want power outages. Justin would like to see future radar for Fayette County. I will share that with you once I've done this cut-in, Justin. Thank you for asking. Hi, Amy, how are you? It's Chicago. Doing well. I was hoping I could do a quick cut-in just because the storms are now bearing in on Travis County and Austin. Are we at a point now where it works, or? Sure. Let me turn on everything and okay, I'm on. Okay, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you hear me? Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And you can see me. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, gotcha. Okay, perfect. Fantastic. Yep, absolutely. I'll do that right now. Sure do. Okay, bye. Oh, I think we may just have had a power hit here. Oh, I think we did. I think the air conditioner just went off. Hey, hi Amy, how are you? That was weird. I know we had a power flash. I'm like, this is not okay. But the lights stayed on. Okay, fantastic. Sure, we could just do a quick, like I just want to do a quick little update just because the storms are moving right through the Austin area right now. Okay. I'm meteorologist Chicago Windler. The Austin area is still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 11:30, and the storms have made it into downtown Austin now. The biggest concern with these is going to be strong gusty winds. They could be as high as 50 miles per hour, maybe some 60-mile-per-hour gusts possible, so please make sure you remain sheltered. There's also a lot of dangerous lightning. I'm pleased to say that the hail that is falling has been small. It looks like it is sub-severe. Let me go ahead and put this into motion for you. And the last couple of hours, we've been watching as this this area right here that's now made it to I-35 and the Austin corridor has been doing what we call bowing out, and that's an indication of potential wind damage. So there may be tree limbs down, there might be some power outages. Power just flashed here at CBS Austin here in North Austin, just to give you an indication. So what we're looking at now is basically a widespread potential for damaging wind gusts. I'm going to go ahead and draw a huge swath. The storms are moving quickly. They're moving at about 50 miles per hour. So Round Rock 1121, that's in 1 minute. Stony Point about 1123. Out at the airport 1125. Garfield 1127. Mater 1128. Hutto out on Highway 79 1130. Mendoza 1133. Weberville, Eastern Travis County about 1134. Elgin about 1142. And Dale about 1148. So just be prepared. As long as you stay indoors, you should be just fine, but don't be shocked if you have to do some cleaning up in the morning because of some wind damage. Send it back to regular programming. In the meantime, I'm also streaming live on Facebook. So if you go to CBS Austin's Facebook page or my Facebook page, Chicago Windler Meteorologist, I'll walk you through this as these severe thunderstorms roll through. Continue to be safe. Keep in mind dangerous lightning. You can also track this at cbsaustin.com. Here's an indication of some of those winds, which have been potentially as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour. We now return you back to programming. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate your help. Yay! All right, I'll holler if anything new pops up. Otherwise, I'll just continue to do my stuff on social media. Thanks. Yes. That is exactly right. Yep. Thanks, Amy. Bye-bye. All right. Oh, wow. I can hear the wind outside. It sounds really loud. Okay, so you guys, I'm still here live on Facebook, tracking this with you, but I'm kind of curious. I think I want to go outside and look at these storms. You guys game for going with me? I don't know if the signal will stand up though. I thought about bringing my auxiliary camera and seeing if it would actually let us go outside. I say let's give it a try. What do you think? Okay, pea-sized hail, says Charlie on Duval Road. Laura says put socks back on, put shoes back on in case. Let's see, about 11:30 storm. Oh, and I promised to show the timeline for Fayette County. Let me show the timeline for Fayette County, and then I'm going to walk outside. And we'll take a look at the storms because I kind of want to see how bad it is out there from a safe distance, that is. All right, so first radar, that rain is coming down heavily. I can hear it currently outside. All right, so yeah, storms have pushed right through the I-35 corridor. If you're east of I-35, incoming. If you're west of I-35, the worst is over and you are pretty much good to go. And those of you in Wilco, up in Georgetown, it's not quite to you yet, but it will be any time now. But if you are in Austin, the worst is happening as you speak. So just stay indoors and you should be okay. All right, now for the timeline. Let's take a look at the latest. And this is a forecast from the HRRR computer model. It updates every hour. Let's see, lightning. Lots of people experiencing lightning shows. I'll go ahead and retweet some of that. Okay, so 12:30, storms continue to push through. That's in an hour. This may be a little late because obviously the line has already pushed in and it's 11:30 or not even 11:30. So in general, I would say be prepared for the storms to be into, I think, Bastrop by 12:30. Let's continue on. So you might have to kind of play with this by about an hour. So this is showing Fayette County and LaGrange and Giddings by about 2 a.m. Based on how quick this is moving, it would not at all surprise me if we have this until by about 1 a.m. I mean, these storms are moving 50 miles per hour, so they're making very quick progress. Now let's see what else this computer model has in store. All of the heaviest and worst weather is likely to be pushing toward Houston and points to the east by about 3 in the morning. And everything left over behind it is not going to be severe, but there may still be some heavier rain, just something to keep in mind. And then that rain may linger a little bit longer, depending on how things play out, and then work its way off toward the south and east as we head toward 4:30 a.m. And then by about 5:30 in the morning, it's moving all the way through south into Fayette County and across I-10. By 6:30, just a couple of little light rain showers. And look at this, we're going to see sunshine rapidly develop after that. In terms of how much rain will be possible, there is going to be maybe, depending on the motion of this, a swath that could be between 1 to 2 inches. So obviously we need the rain, we'll take it. We hopefully will get through this relatively with just only minor inconveniences. I just got a report of no hail being happening with the heavy rain and the lightning through areas in Northwest Austin. So that was a new report. A new rain rate report, 1431 and New Hope Road. That's going to be in Cedar Park. A ham radio operator reporting rain rates of 4 to 6 inches per hour, keeping in mind that this rain is moving, it's not stalling, so the overall rain totals will not be all that impressive given the fact that the storms are moving so quickly. But were they to linger, we're definitely looking at threat of flooding if this stalls, but at this point it does not appear it will. New warning has now put into effect. Those of you in areas north of Lockhart, including Dale in Caldwell County, you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. Bastrop, all of Bastrop County, from Elgin to Bastrop, Cedar Creek to Rosanke, Smithville, Page, you are all under a severe thunderstorm warning. This new one is in effect until 12:30 in the morning. Most of Lee County, from Lexington to Lincoln, Dime Box to Giddings, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And portions of Fayette County are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. That includes West Point, Lena, Muldoon, and Cistern. And that's going to be in effect until 12:30 in the morning. All right, so I told you I thought it would be, well, I was going to say fun. I don't think it's really going to be fun, but I am curious to see what it looks like out there. And I want to take you guys with me. So while we're looking at the worst of the weather kind of pulling through, I don't go anywhere without my raincoat. I always have it. So, and it's got this nice little carrying case too. So I always have this in my bag. I think it's time. Pull out the raincoat and take a look. I did realize I need to respond to an email real quick before I go out there. Let's see. Hello, how are you? I'm doing Facebook Live right now. Yeah, do you have a question for me?
I'm just wondering how it's going to be
by the morning show. By 4:30 in the morning, you'll probably still have rain east through like Highway 77, but by about 7 a.m. it should be out of our DMA.
Okay.
So, yeah, and he's coming in at 1, so
okay.
Yeah, I'll send him your way if he hasn't already visited you.
Perfect, yeah, because I was just wondering, should I be with him at the 5?
So I would think find out what it looks like, because obviously the school shooting is such a big story, but there may be some new developments. Yeah.
That's what I'm leaving at 4:30, and I was thinking maybe with that with the 5.
Gotcha.
Maybe at 5:30 with weather.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to Austin.
Yeah, touch base with him, and especially if there were damage reports or if there are power outages, then I would think that would definitely be a good consideration.
Yeah, because we just got hit.
I know, I heard that. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
cool. I'll send Austin your way if he hasn't already seen you. Okay, you bet. All right. That was one of our producers for the morning show. Oh, okay. Let me finish my email. Okay. 51 mile per hour gust just recorded at Austin Bergstrom International. That is also below severe limits. It's not great, but it's below severe limits. Oh, you're probably hearing all the Velcro. My raincoat has all the Velcro. That's what we call waterproof. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire up my other phone, and I'm going to see if I can put you guys on here so that you'll be able to see it while I'm outside. All right, so I just hit the on button, and now I just need to tweak this camera so that it takes my phone and see if it'll work. Oh, the only thing I thought about is I think I have to be still on the station's Wi-Fi in order for it to work. Getting hail on your car, Francisco, is it big or little? Say, why doesn't the map ever show Leander or Cedar Park? You know what it is? It's because the larger cities, such as Round Rock, take up so much real estate on the weather map that it is programmed to go by population. And because Round Rock is so large, you have to zoom into this level before you can see Cedar Park pop up and Leander pop up. But there you are. Liberty Hill, the worst has pushed to your east. Leander, the worst has now pushed toward 183. Cedar Park the worst is over you right now, and actually it quickly pushed east. Round Rock, Wells Branch, Pflugerville, you're getting the worst of it. Decker Lane, Lake, out close to Weberville, moving in. Downtown Austin, the leading edge of the gusty winds has pushed through. You are still dealing with the heavy downpours. I'm somewhat optimistic. The warning at 11:30 that had been in effect for the bulk of Travis and Hays counties has expired on time. And so now we're dealing with the eastward warning. So it does appear lightning as well as rain, but I'm just kind of watching no significant hail being reported, pea-sized hail from some indications, winds kicking in. But these are some of the things that I'm seeing on social media right now may not be all that bad. Okay, so back to what I was going to try to do. We're going to go outside, and I don't know if the live will continue to stay in or not. But let me go ahead and give it a try. So I'm going to see if I hold the camera right about like this. We'll see how far we can go before it conks out. Oh, and you know what else I need? I need my key card, because if I leave and I don't have that, then I can't get back in the building. All right, so let's take a field trip. Before we do, I should probably actually zip up my coat, because if I don't, I'm going to get out there and it's going to be like really, and I'll get soaked. All right. And for those of you, if this fails and the shot doesn't work, at least you get to see radar, and you may not hear me for a little bit. But for those of you who hopefully it will work, field trip time. All right, so let's do this. And I'll keep you updated either way. So if my microphone goes out and if the shot goes out, then that means that the station Wi-Fi doesn't go all the way outside. But I'm hoping that it'll go outside. We don't have to go too far anyway. All right, so we're walking down the hallway at CBS Austin and heading toward the front door. And I don't know if it's still working, but let's hope it is. And now we're walking outside. And so we made it outside. And the rain. like they're hearing that there may be some small falling, but that it may not be. Sometimes your ears play tricks on you. So as it worked out, I actually didn't even get wet because I stayed under the awning the whole time. But let's see if it worked and how long you guys were able to actually see me. Oops. Trying to get in the door. Oh, I'm struggling. I had to get through a door and I didn't know how to open it. All right, we are back in the weather center now. And we may have cut off. All right, I'm back. How much of it did you miss? You got nothing from my field trip. Oh, sorry that it cut out. Bummer. Well, I'm back. Can y'all hear me? He said all of it. You didn't get the field trip. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. You cut it halfway down the hall. Arr. So as it works out, my live stream, oh, you know what I should have done? I should have Skyped it. Skype would have been just fine. But as it works out, if I don't use the same Wi-Fi that I do this, then the thing cuts out. So bummer. You got down the hallway and that was it. That's good to know for future reference. Let's see. Francisco says, go back out. Yeah, why don't I just do that? Okay, so just in case you missed, let me show you what you missed. Because I recorded it on my phone. So let's see. You will be able to see what you missed. Okay, so can you see this? Whoops, there. That is our parking lot. And I took you guys out into the parking lot and I showed you the rain falling. And I said something to the effect of, oh, it's not really that bad out here. Okay, and then there's some lightning here. Let's see. You're seeing the notifications from my Twitter too. So I was like, look, there's lightning. So I was narrating as we were showing the lightning show. So that's what it looks like outside. And there were cars going by. So yeah, you still get the field trip. You just don't get like the full-on outside feeling of the field trip. Anyway, see? Lots of lightning. So we have accomplished our goal. Sorry, it was not quite right. Okay, let's see. Hutto had winds of 50 miles per hour estimated. Also, looks like rain of 2 inches per hour estimated. What else is being reported? Crystal Falls and Baghdad Road, rainfall rate of 2.4 inches per hour. Highway 29 and Park Place, 6 miles west of Georgetown, pea-sized hail. Thunderstorm wind damage, Pflugerville, 1 inch tree limbs downed. That's like small. Let's see, Camp Mabry, looks like it reported, let me see what this wind gust was. 51 miles per hour at the airport, 49 mile per hour wind gust at Camp Mabry. So those are the reports. Let's see. Oh, our weekend meteorologist, Austin Burks, has a report. I'll go ahead and retweet that. He says in northwest Austin, there have been some power flashes. There is also a significant weather advisory that has been put into place for Milam County until 12:30 in the morning. In Williamson County, there is a report of brief loss of power, wind gusts strong, heavy rain moving to Hutto. Let's see what else. Large hail reported 78824, pelting the windows right now. Let's look. I want to see where the hail might be. Let's see. Lindsay says south of Thrall, southeast corner of Williamson County, where Lee meets. Are we going to get hit with the big winds getting closer? First off, let me go ahead and get rid of my extra webcam that froze up when I tried to go outside. So much for that. We tried to show it off and it just didn't do its thing. National Weather Service has a new update. Let's see what this latest one is. It is a severe thunderstorm watch now for Fayette County. Folks in Fayette County, It took a while, but you have now been added to the severe thunderstorm watch. I will show that to you. It is in effect until 5 a.m. So Fayette County now under severe thunderstorm watch. You can see it flashing. This is the brand new severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect until 5 a.m. And that includes those of you in LaGrange, in Schulenburg, in Carmine, in Muldoon, in Photonia. All throughout Fayette County, you are now under a severe thunderstorm watch until 5 a.m. All right, so the new watch, let me go ahead and make sure that that is retweeted on the CBS Austin page. The watch, by the way, has been cleared for Llano and Gillespie counties. So if you are in Llano and Gillespie County, you are in the clear. The severe thunderstorm watch has been allowed to expire for you. Not in the immediate CBS Austin viewing area, but Laughlin Air Force Base had a report of 49 mile per hour winds, as well 54 mile per hour winds reported in Hondo, which is west of San Antonio. Oh, 60 mile per hour gusts just reported at the airport. All right, so let's take a look. It looks like the winds are finally really starting to do their thing. 60 mile per hour winds being reported at the airport. Okay, so here is Austin Bergstrom International right there. And 60 mile per hour wind gust was reported. Let me go ahead and pop up the winds and the gusts real quick just to see if there were any other impressive ones that developed. So, okay, clearly, look at that. That's some strong wind, y'all. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that out on social media, to be honest with you. Let me craft that. Bear with me. You're going to actually see me as I do this little tweet real quick. It'll take a half a second. 37 mile per hour sustained wind gust to 60 miles per hour being reported. That's pretty nasty stuff. Okay, 11:42 p.m. Severe wind gust of 60 miles per hour reported at the airport with a sustained wind of 37 miles per hour. Could be some wind damage in southeast Travis County, Elroy, Coda, ABIA areas. Stay. All right. And let me go ahead and send that out. And publish it. And there you go. So in case you guys are wondering how I'm able to multitask, you just saw it. I just sent out a tweet and a Facebook post all at the same time. But yeah, nasty winds, 37 mile per hour wind, a gust up to 60. And as we look, Burnett County, you're gusting to 39 miles per hour. Let me look at the peak wind gusts just so we can see how high they've gotten. Okay, so this is pretty impressive. Camp Mabry, 49 miles per hour, 48 mile per hour wind gust, and Cameron Hearn, 44 mile per hour wind gust. So those are some pretty impressive winds. So we've got the new severe thunderstorm watch that's been put into effect until 5 a.m. 45 mile per hour gust was just reported at New Braunfels. Let's see, Westinghouse and A.W. Grimes, that's in Round Rock. 50 mile per hour winds reported, torrential rain, no hail. So yes, this is, I believe, going to be almost a low end severe weather event. 58 is the threshold for severe. So certainly the winds at the airport, 60 miles per hour, that is severe. But in many other locations, probably manageable as far as the winds are concerned. So definitely if you're still on the downstream of this, if you haven't had the winds hit you just yet, be prepared because wind will probably be the biggest nemesis. Obviously the heavy rain as well. I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out also. So let me go ahead and add the timestamp on it. And I'm going to go ahead and send this out too. Yep, 60 mile per hour gust. 11:45 p.m. peak. wind gusts so far for the CBS Austin area. 60 mile per hour at ABIA tops the list. Severe wind. Whoops. Let's see. Peak wind gusts so far. Severe wind. I just heard some thunder outside. Gusts remain possible east in our eastern counties through the next couple hours. And I should spell through correctly. Though, not though, through. THR. This is why proofreading is important, and sometimes I don't just necessarily do it very well. Okay. And let me send that out. Okay, so that's out. All right, let me get back to reading some of your comments. And let's see. Sherry says, oh, I missed what Sherry said. Can I scroll up? Will it show me? Yes, it will show me. Say, oh, there's so many comments. Puppy not happy about the thunder. Oh, well, thank you for checking in, Sherry. You're very welcome. My pleasure. Glad it wasn't worse, right? Let me put it on our radar. Obviously, you guys know that it's windy out there, so let me put it on radar so you can kind of track these storms as they move east now. The worst is over for the hill country. Everybody in Mason, Llano, Burnett, Gillespie, and Blanco counties, anything that happens from here on out will be sub-severe. Western sections of Williamson, Western Travis, Western Hayes, the worst is over for you. It's really just that leading edge. We're talking from basically Granger out to Elgin. Elgin, you're getting the worst of it right now. Just about to Cedar Creek, and then out to near Lockhart. And then all of this is going to continue pushing to the east. So just be prepared for potentially damaging winds to move in. So next up, Eastern Williamson County. So Thrall, I saw that comment earlier of some strong gusty winds heading in that direction. After that, Rockdale, Milano, Cameron. I'm heading toward Blue in northwest Lee County. Blue, Lexington, Lincoln, Dimebox, Giddings. Eastern side of Bastrop, Page, Rosanke. Down on the southern side, Smithville, you will be next in line for these gusty winds that could cause some potential damage. Let me go ahead and leave it on this, and I'm going to check your comments again. And curious to see, I'm actually going to move up a little bit and see. Oh, it looks like a power outage, says Franco. I'm kind of trying to scroll up because I missed a lot of your comments while I was out gallivanting, right? So we had Paul in Cedar Creek, Larry in Wimberley, Mac, Bob, Dinshin, let's see, Jules, asking about Del Valley. Well, now you get your answer. We saw that gust of 60 mile per hour winds. Let me see what the time was on that. 31 mile per hour wind in San Antonio, 58 mile per hour gust in Hondo. Let's see, 130 Toll Road has pea-sized hail at Sam Houston in the State Highway 130 in Round Rock. Sunset Valley, half-inch size hail, about a half-inch in diameter. Let's see, 1-inch tree limbs broken in Pflugerville, Westlake Hills, reporting penny-sized hail. That was at 11:40. Current time is 11:49. So penny-sized hail. And that wind gust at Austin Bergstrom International of 60 miles per hour was recorded at 11:36 tonight. So that would have been just about 13 minutes ago was that strong gust of wind that was reported at the airport. A new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued that does include Lockhart and Luling. So those of you in Caldwell County that are watching right now, there is a new severe thunderstorm warning, I should say, warning, meaning imminent, that has been issued for you. It is in effect until, let's see, 12:45 in the morning. So the new warning includes Lockhart, Joliet, Stairtown, Luling, Tillman, McMahon, and Delhi. So just keep in mind a new severe thunderstorm warning. Those of you in Maxwell are also under the severe thunderstorm warning. Same song, different dance. It is for damaging wind potential, and I'll go ahead and track this for you as the storms are moving in general at about 50 miles per hour. So here are some times for you, those of you in Caldwell County that are now under the new severe thunderstorm warning. Time now is 11:50, 11:55 for Joliet, Stairtown 11:57, McMahon 11:58, Tillman midnight, Kingsbury 12:02, Luling 12:05, Delhi at about 12:07, 12:12 for Harwood, Sandy Fork 12:15, and Otine at about 12:16. So that's the new warning that was just put into effect until 12:45 for winds up to 60 and hail up to nickel size, which is 0.88 inches in diameter. So there is your new warning there. And the warning, Bastrop, the leading edge of these storms is just now moving toward you. So if you're in Bastrop, you've probably got about 90 seconds before you feel that gust of wind on the leading edge. So initially, it's going to be this green area, which is just the gust front. And then after that will come the rain, thunder, and lightning afterwards. And there again could be some small hail. Let me go back to the hail tracker just to give you an idea. It seems like the largest hail was that 3/4 inch diameter hail report that was in the Lakeway area. So we can see multiple areas of small hail being indicated. The one that at this point looks the most likely to perhaps be still subsevere, but maybe a little bit bigger, would be this one that is just to the north of Elgin. Let me go ahead and query it. And in that brighter pixel, it's showing marble-sized hail. In the lighter shades, that is pea-sized hail. So let me go ahead and zoom in for you. Areas that may be seeing hail right now or in the short term soon, near Copeland, Manda, Lund, Littig, and heading eastward toward Elgin. Eventually, Butler and Bocas may also be impacted by some hail. There's also a little bit of hail that is showing up near Circuit of the Americas and Elroy, also Pilot Knob, and also out near Calder Road, just on the east side of Mustang Ridge and north of Highway 21. So not severe. Typically for us to have severe hail, I look at this scale, and if I see the blues, that's when I say, ruh-roh, we've got severe hail. But if we're not in the blue, typically we are in better shape. But the severe thunderstorm warnings obviously are continuing because of the wind threat more so than the severe thunderstorm hail threat. So plan on dangerous lightning, gusty winds, and then smaller hail. And at this point, we've been very fortunate that this has been just straight line wind damage. We have not had any issues with rotating storms, thank goodness. Occasionally with these systems that bring in, they're basically, we call them there's a cool little acronym in the meteorological world called a QLCS, which stands for Quasi-Linear Convective System. Essentially a squall line moving through, and sometimes there can be little areas of rotation that do develop in these squall lines. I'm going to go ahead and pop a big velocity tracker on here, and as long as the winds, you can really see the enhancement. Do you see right in here? See those brighter whites there that were in Wilco? That would be probably that 50 mile per hour wind report that came near Round Rock and Hutto, near the toll road. But typically, if there were to be any rotation within one of these squall lines, you would see little couplets develop along the leading edge of the gust front. So the gust front is basically right in here, and everything is very uniform. In red, those are winds blowing away from the radar. And remember, there's a radar site here in New Braunfels. There's also a radar site up here in Granger. Winds blowing toward the radar are green, and winds blowing away from the radar are red. So in general, all of this that we're seeing is straight line wind that is pulling through, although pretty gusty at times. So the worst is actually waning now in Austin. You've seen the bright reds shoot off toward the east in a real hurry, moving toward Elgin and Highway 95. The lighter precipitation is currently ongoing for areas of western Travis County. Still some lightning, but the worst of the storms have pushed off toward the east. This honestly looks like it's going to move through much quicker than originally I was expecting. I thought this would be something that would kind of linger through much of the morning, at least until around sunrise. But this may, unless things change, this may be pretty quick in and out, to where essentially right now the severe weather portion of this is this leading edge. Everything back behind out in this area is non-severe. So though there may still be some lingering rain, I really feel like the worst of the severe weather threat might be in and out within the next hour or so, which is pretty good to hear. Let's see, there are some reports of some small hail in central Austin. This was about 10 minutes ago, so right around 11:45, there was a report of some small hail just in central Austin. Allendale, Koenig and Burnett roads, wind blew a huge branch down and took out a power line there. So if you are without power in portions of central Austin, it may be because a tree came down on a power line. So moderate rain still possible. The worst of the storms pressing to the east, now moving through Bastrop. Hopefully not too bad. Power flashes reported in San Antonio on 410, and a 43-mile-per-hour wind gust reported in San Antonio. Ooh, a 63-mile-per-hour wind gust reported at San Antonio Airport. So anyone down south in Bexar County, looks like so far that's the strongest wind report that has come through. So 63-mile-per-hour wind report coming out of San Antonio. All right, I digress. Let's go back and look at some of your comments now. Maybe I start from now and work my way back. Susie and Courtney say 10 miles from Highway 95, close enough. Tired. And let's see. Gloria says loud lightning letting up in Sun City. Thank you for that. Less than an inch of rain. Wah, that's no good. Always in the bubble. I know a lot of people were hoping for more rain. I apologize that it wasn't better in terms of the rainfall falling. Douglas, you're very welcome. My pleasure. Let's see. Maynard, Susie says it was crazy. I bet. It wasn't bad here, though. I will tell you that. Just looking. Let's see. Trying to scroll back so I can catch some of your comments. Beryl says, hope it passes quickly. Your headache is massive. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you think it's the pressure change? I'm curious. Rain died down. Thank you, Susie, for your report. Laura says thunder picking up near Lakeline. Coming down hard in Pflugerville, says Ivor, and that was coming at, let's see, about 10 minutes ago, 11:49. Let's see, Joey says severe thunderstorm watch for Fayette County. Yep, till 5 a.m. Brianna says thunder still loud in Leander. That was not too long ago. Hail in Shady Hollow was the question. I think there might have been some small hail. I saw some reports. Let's see. Castle Hills in Bexar County, that's where the San Antonio International Airport is. That was the 63-mile-per-hour wind gust. And let's see, Hayes County reporting 1-inch tree limbs broken in Hayes, 2 miles southwest of Hayes. And Windcrest in Bexar County, San Antonio area, 1-inch tree limb down, limbs broken. All right, those of you in Bastrop, it almost looks like the storms have slowed down. Do you also notice that the bright reds have decreasing in intensity and we're now looking at just the oranges? This is interesting. It does appear that the forward motion of the storms has started to let up a little bit. It's like someone pushed on the brakes and said, hold on, we're going to wait a little bit. So I'll be curious to see if you end up actually seeing some higher rainfall totals along the areas from eastern Travis into western Bastrop County. That might include Elgin, especially with the heaviest rain right over you currently. But it does. It looks like here we are just 1 minute away from midnight. Not only the storms showing weakening, but they also appear like they're slowing down in slow motion. Let's see, Michelle has a huge headache too. Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys are definitely, you say human barometer. It must be a thing. Kelsey, yes, it does appear like this is weakening. So by the time it reaches you in Lee County, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me check the winds again. I think the gusts may be down pretty considerably. Just looking, even in the like short 5 minutes that just shows how quickly things can change. All right, so let me pop up the winds. And looks like the strongest winds are going to be here in let me take the warning layer off. Here in the northwest corner of Lee County, it's still showing 63 miles per hour, but just overall from looking at the radar reflectivities, those look like they have dropped down, but this is looking at the winds, and it's still showing 50 to 60 mile per hour wind potential. Granted, this is going to be shooting up in elevation, and the radar here is in Granger. So these pockets of potentially heavier wind might be 50, 60 miles per hour, but the overall intensity of the storms does look like it is dropping. Oh, the airport clicked up one more notch, 61 mile per hour gust there for the airport. So there you go. Lots of action on radar. So we click over to the midnight hour. Those of you who are joining in right now for this extended version of Chik's Chats, which just keeps on going. And I appreciate you guys for joining in and for watching tonight. I know that storms can be pretty anxiety-ridden and scary, and so my goal is to try and, first of all, keep you informed. Second of all, maybe teach you a few things along the way, and make sure that you know when the coast is clear. So, for instance, if you are in the hill country, you are good to go. Still a little bit of lightning out there, but the showers and thunderstorms are non-severe, and we are not expecting any intensification to occur. Those of you on the leading edge here, east of Elgin, now toward Bastrop, approaching areas in Lee County, that's going to be the worst of the storms and the highest of the wind. I'm going to make the lightning a little bit bigger so that you can see it's electric. I think there's a song like that, right? Okay, let me go ahead and track the number of lightning strikes within our area, and it's going to be hundreds, 545 lightning strikes. You can see it right there. So a highly electrical storm. Wouldn't shock me if there are some fires because of lightning strikes. Let's see, you've got a picture of the gust front in Austin. Let me go ahead and retweet that on Twitter from Tony Parteau. And just watching the storms as they roll on through. Not seeing any new hail reports. There is a report from Kelly Field in San Antonio of a 56 mile per hour wind gust. National Weather Service is going to be canceling the severe thunderstorm watch. This is the National Weather Service office up in Fort Worth. They're going to cancel the severe thunderstorm watch for much of their area. Austin Energy is showing about 21,000 power outages right now. So keep in mind power outages for about 21,000 folks. I hope you are not one of them. And if you are, hang in there. And if you are worried about power outages downstream in areas of Lee, Eastern Bastrop, and Fayette County, plug in your devices now so that you've got the juice to last through a power outage should it develop. Just keep in mind that is a possibility that there could be some power outages. Michael said blew through about 20 to 25 minutes ago. Huge cranes near. Oh, that would be so scary. The cranes, I bet, would sway back and forth. That would freak me out, I would say, for sure. Let's see. Lots of people talking about headaches. It always catches me whenever. I'm wondering if I should follow along on my phone. Would I be better off doing that? Because otherwise I have to kind of scroll through your comments this way. But I'll follow along on my phone and see if I can get your comments more effectively and efficiently that way. All right, so I'm clicking on the live stream. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, I can see your comment. Well, I don't know if I can see all of them. It says see more. All right. So Danielle, Julie, Desiree, Wyndon Leander, Krista talking about the allergies and the headaches. By the way, our allergy reports are not going to resume until Tuesday of next week. The Allergy and Asthma Associates of Georgetown, or Allergy and Asthma Center of Georgetown, I should say, I think they're taking the week off because they said they would not have a new allergy report until the 31st. Charles reporting Butler being windy east of Elgin. Thank you for your report. I showed Butler just a second ago on the map. It wouldn't surprise me at all if you have some crazy wind there. Let's go check it out, and I'll zoom in here and we'll check in on northern Bastrop County, western Lee County, and yeah, lots of electricity, that's for sure. So here's Butler on the map, and I'll take the lightning and make it small, and sure enough you can see the gust front moved through, the heavy rain is overhead for Elgin, for Butler, for McDade, and it's moving right toward Page. So this initial line right here is the gust front in advance of the rain. Ooh, you know, something that I haven't checked in on in a bit is the rainfall totals, which I know were a little lackluster last time we looked. Let's go ahead and take a quick gander and see where we stand. It is currently 12:06 in the morning. You know, some places did okay. Take a look. Looks like 1.8 inches in Burnett. That's pretty good. And there's also a pixel here in orange, which shows 3 inches just north of Highway 29 in Burnett County. Buchanan Dam, you may have picked up that as well. Kingsland, 1.35. Let's just go county by county, shall we? So, okay, here's Mason County, about 1/3 of an inch on the southern part of the county, almost an inch in the west. The highest rainfall totals for Mason County far north, where, look at that, radar estimated 3.8 inches. The plots that are actually on here are actual legitimate gauges from the LCRA. Whenever I am plotting something on, that's just a radar estimate. So east side of Llano, 3.1 inches. That's pretty good. I already talked about Burnett and how northwest of there, 4.2. Southern Burnett County, 3.3. Now, worth noting, sometimes radar can be what we call hail contaminated. So if there were to have been hail in some of these storms, that can sometimes make it seem like there was more rain than really fell. So that's why I like seeing these ground truth measurements. For instance, southern side of Gillespie County, 1.26 inches being recorded in an actual rain gauge. I'm going to query the yellow to the west of that shows 2.8 inches radar estimated. Looks like areas like Doss and Harper didn't do all that well. You got 0.72 and 0.57 respectively. Just north of Fredericksburg, about 3/4 of an inch. Up closer to Willow City, it's like almost an inch being recorded there. Not too bad, right? And let's go ahead and take a look at Blanco County. Southern parts of Blanco County look like they did better in the rainfall department than the northern areas. Southwest side of Blanco, 2.3 inches. Closer to Twin Sisters, looks like about 1.8 being indicated. Johnson City, though, got less than an inch. And look at this, a veritable desert here of rain, only a 1/2 inch showing up. Not too far away from Round Mountain. So there you go, west of Round Mountain, west of Highway 281, and south of Ranch Road 962, a little dearth of less than a 1/2 inch of rain. Meanwhile, Hays County, let's check in. Looks like southern Hays down south of San Marcos, not good, 0.4 inches. San Marcos area, about 0.7. About an inch closer to, well, not quite to Buda, 1.5 west. And let's see, northwest of Wimberley, 1.4. That's not too bad. In Travis County, lots of spots picking up an inch or so of rain. That's nice. Williamson County, oh, look at this. Other areas that just didn't see that much, especially east of, out toward Jonah and Weir, and east of Gerald, you did not make out too well at all. Near Granger, yeah, the storms didn't do much for you. Even Round Rock, only about a 1/2 inch. So, on the other hand, look at Florence. Florence did great, 1.7 inches of rain. All right, let's look a little farther to the east into Milam County, where you had like 3 inches of rain the other day along Highway 79. 2.5 inches northwest of Cameron. Close to Rockdale area, 1 inch. And this is Thorndale, had 1/3 of an inch of rain. Obviously, Lee County, Bastrop County, and Fayette County, you are still waiting for your rain. Likewise for much of Caldwell County. That's pretty decent as far as rain's concerned. All right, I'm going to go back to peak wind gusts, see if anybody else has picked anything up. Nope. So LaGrange, your gust of 24, you haven't seen the big gust front push in just yet. Giddings area, only a 20-mile-per-hour gust. I do expect these winds probably will go higher as the bulk of the storms reach your area. New severe thunderstorm warning. As you can see, the white shading corresponds to severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:30 a.m., covering Lee County, Fayette County, Bastrop County, Caldwell County. It's showing new, but I think it's just refreshed. 3/4 inch diameter hail possible, and winds up to 60 miles per hour are possible. Let me confirm. Yep, that is the case. It also does include a portion of eastern Williamson County. So Taylor and Thrall, you are now under that severe thunderstorm warning until 12:30. Oh wait, it says 12:30, 12:11. Okay, so it's 12:11 now. Until 12:30, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour winds and hail up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Let's see. No new reports have come in during the short time that we've been talking. This is going to sound crazy. I've been sitting here for a while. I'm getting cold. So not only do I have the raincoat for going outside on field trips, I also have the big fleece for when it gets cold inside. So it's got a hood on it too. I don't think I'm quite into hoodie territory, but I could if I wanted to. Yeah, I just kind of chill. It's a little chilly in here. No hail reports, looking at one of my other computers models, are too bad, but I do want to zoom in and look at eastern sections of Lee County. There may be some hail that's kind of starting to pick up there. Okay, so near Blue, there may be some hail, but it does look like it's trying to intensify just a tad. So don't discount the possibility of a brief bit of hail that could be somewhat like close to severe for you. So that is Lee County near Blue, and it's pushing off toward the east. All right, let's check in on those winds one more time. Ooh, we're really getting some enhancement here. The yellow could potentially, if it makes its way all the way down to the surface, be up to almost 70 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and query this. Those of you in Lexington, 63 mile per hour gust is being indicated there. 58 mile per hour gust approaching Lincoln. Right along Highway 21 on the west side of Lee County, 65 mile per hour wind gust. So most definitely there will be a possibility of some wind damage, hopefully not any power outages, but something to keep in mind. No new reports coming in from the National Weather Service, which is certainly good news that nothing is being reported in terms of additional damage. As mentioned earlier, though, the power outage number from Austin Energy, upwards of 21,000. And low water crossings also a consideration. It appears that there are the usual few in Williamson County that are closed. Prior to this rain event, we had about 10 roads closed on atxfloods.com. I'm actually going to pull it up over here, and I'm going to show it to you as well. So let me go ahead and switch computers as we're looking at the wind right now, but I also thought I would share with you right here, atxfloods.com. And as you're looking, you're going to see that there are a total of 15 right here. 15 low water crossings are closed. And of those, 10 were already closed prior to today. But it looks like 100 block of Avenue L is closed as of 12:14 this morning. Let's see, Cypress Lane in Cedar Park is closed. So there are several closures being reported. Let's take a look. Brushy Creek Road, that one's been closed for a long time. It's marked since April. Sumac Lane closed today. Those are the usual ones in Cedar Park that typically close. Out in Marble Falls, 2600 block of Commerce is closed. That is as of 11:50 tonight. Also, the 100 block of South Avenue North between Yet and Backbone in Marble Falls, that is closed, but that's been closed since February, so that's not new. Down into Hays County, this one's been closed since November. Nope. All another one since November, so that's not new. Roland in the city of Kyle, that's been closed since February, so that's not because of today. Nor is the one in southern Caldwell County. So honestly, it looks like the majority of these were already closed typically it's because they were in disrepair. The new ones would be the ones that are in Cedar Park. There are 3 closures that always close. They're in this neighborhood that is west of Old 183 and north of New Hope. And there are 3 streets, Cypress, and Peachtree Lane and Sumac. And they close all the time. I should go out there sometime. I've never actually seen it, but literally it could drop, infinitesimally small amounts of rain. And those rain gauges, or those floodgates or wherever they are, close. So I don't think I'd want to live in that street if you're always going to have road closures every time it rains. So anyway, that is the latest from atxfloods.com. I will show you on the LCRA page some of the rainfall. Let's go last 24 hours, and I'll add the county boundaries. And so if you're ever curious about rainfall totals, the Lower Colorado River Authority's Hydromet is a great resource. Just Google LCRA Hydromet and you can get to it. And it does show 2.6 inches of rain right there in Burnett. So lo and behold, I was a little concerned that this was going to be a bit of a dud, but we have had 2.6 inches of rain in Burnett County, which was one of the areas that was really struggling lately. Not too bad. All right, let me go ahead and take this off. We'll go back to the radar. And yep, winds right over Lexington right now seem to be the strongest ones. So I don't know if any of you are in Lee County right now, but I suspect the worst of the weather is happening currently over Highway 77. Velocity data showing up to 64 mile per hour winds possible. That would, of course, be somewhat elevated above the surface, but still there's that possibility of very strong winds. I'll put that into motion so you can see the winds continue to push eastward very quickly. Man, the system is like in a hurry. It's wasting no time whatsoever. All right, I'm going to see if the gusts have gone up for anybody. Nope. I was expecting that Giddings and LaGrange's gusts might have gone up a little bit. As you can see, the wind gusts up toward Cameron was 48 miles per hour. Hearn was 44 miles per hour. But San Marcos only 18. You barely got a breeze. And also into Mason County, it looks like some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. Severe thunderstorm watch has now been canceled for parts of the Fort Worth area. However, Milam County, it is still in effect until 3 a.m. No new reports of damage and anything like that have come across. We go back to the radar, and it is showing, well, everything quickly progressing eastward. And the highest intensity of rain pulling right now through Lexington, also through Rockdale, Milano, Cameron, areas in Milam County. You're seeing the highest intensities of rain. Travis County, you've pretty much seen the worst come and go. So it is now unlikely that you see any additional damage. Farther to the south, the storms are approaching you in Luling as we speak. They haven't quite made it all the way toward Delhi, but they're right there on the edge. And then they'll be moving farther to the south toward Gonzales. In Fayette County, let's see, how many miles away? The gust front is approximately 20 miles away from LaGrange, and these storms are moving 50 miles per hour, so you are going to see these storms roll in pretty quickly. Let me go ahead and put it in stop mode, and I'll grab the leading edge, and I should actually confirm and make sure that they're still moving at that same rate as they were. Let me just double check and see. I know I can do it here quicker. There we go. And it looks like the motion on those storms is southeast at 40. So they're not moving quite as quickly as they had been. So let me go ahead and take the leading edge of the storms and we will move them to the southeast at about 40 miles per hour. That's pretty good. Okay, so here are some new times. 12:21, current time is 12:20, so in 1 minute, Rosanke, get ready. Smithville at 12:22, Togo at 12:24, Delhi 12:26, Giddings 12:29, Kirtley 12:30, Dimebox 12:32, Stellar 12:34, Cistern 12:36, Plum 12:41, Ledbetter 12:42, Waldeck 12:45, Muldoon 12:46, and LaGrange at 12:49. So less than 30 minutes and those storms will be there. A new severe thunderstorm warning has just been put into effect east of Lee County. I believe that's for Robertson County. Let me just confirm for you. 26,000 people without power in San Antonio. That is per CPS Energy. Oh, it's Burleson County. So Brazos, Burleson, and Washington counties under severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's until 12:45 a.m. That is just the extension eastward of Milam County and Lee County. So that's filling in the areas heading toward eventually Bryan and College Station. So storms making quick, rapid progress through the area. And off toward the south and east, you can see that green line here. This is the wind, that gust front, and then behind it is where the storms are. And I'll go ahead and add the lightning so you can see there is still quite a bit. Let me go ahead and widen out and we'll take a look at the number of lightning strikes. Definitely a ton of lightning. What an electric storm going on for areas, especially now in Bastrop, Lee, Eastern Williamson, parts of Milam County as well. Good number. And we've got 708 lightning strikes, which is up. Earlier, it was like 400. I can actually hear thunder over my head here. In case you're wondering, our station is located in North Austin. We're like a mile away from the domain. And so likely what I'm hearing over my head is probably some of this action right in here somewhere. But yeah, lots of lightning, highly electric system. And so severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me go ahead and take the lightning layers off. And I'll even take the radar layer off. So the severe thunderstorm warnings currently in effect are all the spots shaded in orange, spanning from east of Round Rock, east of Austin, San Marcos, points east through Bastrop, Lee, Fayette, and parts of Caldwell counties. Currently, the latest warning for our area expires at 12:45, which is 20 minutes from now. I am pretty expectant that we will see a warning issued for Fayette County once those storms get a little bit closer, just based on the trend. And I also think it's plausible that Milam County might end up in a warning as well. Although so far the National Weather Service that is in charge of Milam County, which is up in Fort Worth, has been going with a significant weather advisory, which is one step down from a severe thunderstorm warning. Still not a higher gust out of Giddings. You can see the airport gust has gone back down. It had been 61 and now it's showing just 40 miles per hour. All right, watching this move on through. Let me get back to your comments. See, I could talk for hours. It's kind of, I don't know, is it a blessing or is it a curse? I could just yammer on forever. Okay. And I'll kind of monitor and see if anything new pops up. PEC, let me check. Okay, 16,000 customers without power in Austin per Austin Energy. I'm actually gonna, well, hey, we can do this together. Hello. It's like, I can do this while we're talking. we can look at this all at the same time. All right, so let me come up here. And as we track those storms, we can also track Austin Energy. So there we go. We Googled the Austin Energy. We looked for the power outages. I probably should have clicked on the power outages instead of just the main page. All right, so now I'm sure it's over here. Easier said than done. Let's see. Oh, these are the outages. Hello. It was showing them without me realizing it. Report outage. That's how we report it. I want to see them. Oh, here it is. Okay. So it appears that most of the outages on Austin Energy are not huge totals. Like there's 21 in Windsor Park, there's 42 in Central Austin. So yeah, very scattered out, it looks like. Let me click on one of these to see. So 21 outages in Windsor Park, a number of customers defected is 2,500. Let's see. 2 outages affecting 186 customers. That's going to be in the Dorset Oaks area. Those of you in near Austin Hills, 2 outages affecting 31 customers. So yeah, it looks like there is no like huge big outage. Instead, it's multiple smaller outages per Austin Energy for a total of 16,000 customers without service. All right, so I'm curious to know if it shows you a total number. You would think it would say total of however many outages. I don't visit this page often enough to know. Check status, what does that do? Oh, no. That's not what I need. All right, so next up, let's take a look and see what PEC has to say about outages. PEC outage map. So this is for Pedernales Electricity. 87 outages, total of 4,500 meters affected. So that's not that many. Now let's check Bluebonnet and see their outages. And let's see. Now Bluebonnet covers most of the eastern areas, so some of you may not have had the power go out yet. Oh, but it does look like there are some outages, 130 outages on the east side of the 130 toll road. Let's see. They've got crews assigned. Bluebonnet's like really good telling you like what's going on. So yeah, there are some outages in eastern Travis County. And it looks like the biggest one, I saw one that said 609 when I zoomed. How can I do a slow zoom? It wants to go crazy. So anyway, you can see some of the outages mainly on the east side per Bluebonnet. And I think that pretty much covers all of the main electricity entities that would have power outages currently. I think in the hill country, I don't know how many outages may have occurred. Let's see, 64 mile per hour wind gust reported at Kennedy Airport. And not seeing any additional reports of, oh, Kennedy's like way down south. Any additional reports of damage or anything like that. So yes, there are some power outages, but no, it does not look like there's anything too crazy thus far. Okay, I'll take that off again. We can go visit it once more once we want to. Okay, Lee County, the storms are right moving through your area in quick fashion. Fayette County, you are next up. Pouring in Windsor Hills, thank you for your report, Jeremy. Say a little hail earlier, but mostly rain and wind. Yeah, that was my impression as well. It seemed like that was the case. Let's see, who else is on board watching tonight? Rhonda said it just hit in Lexington. Let me know how bad it is. Laura says the line's going to be out of here, the leading edge, before I am. I know, seriously. I'm still here for 31 minutes. Not that I'm keeping track, but yeah, the storms are racing to the east by the time Austin gets here, Austin Burks. The storms are going to be like, see you later, bye-bye, and it'll just be down the lighter rain, perhaps. All right. Let's see. Milam County between Taylor and Thorndale. Let's see. You got 4 inches last Saturday and Sunday and been pouring for an hour and a half. Wow. My guess is, I know that you guys in Milam County were under a flood advisory Saturday night because I was up at 3 in the morning doing my due diligence tracking the weather. I'd be curious to see with this additional rain that you're getting if you do experience any flooding. So let me know if that is the case. Let's see. Mickey, hi, it's been a long time. How are you? I haven't heard from you in ages. You say the county closes your dry creek low water crossing when a cow pees near it. It is so funny how some of these low water crossings are like, what was the point, right? New severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued, as you can see, highlighted in white for Gonzales County and also portions of southern Bayer County. Essentially, this entire line as it's continuing to bow out. Remember, the bow is like so, and the heavy gusty winds are extending out. The National Weather Service has opted to go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to do a huge new giant severe thunderstorm warning to cover this as it continues progressing to the south and east. So that is what you are seeing, is the severe thunderstorm warning being extended for the area. So currently, Lee County, you're getting the worst of it. It has pushed through Lexington proper and is moving into the eastern part of the county. Lincoln, you just saw the gust front and the rain push in. Giddings, it is just here, just now. Warda, the gust front has reached you. The rain is on its way. And LaGrange, only a matter of minutes before it gets to you. I'd say probably another 10 minutes or so. You're going to definitely feel that wind gust shift. And then not long after, you're going to get in on the rain and the storms as well. So Lockhart, it's actually getting lighter for you. The heaviest is pushed through. And Luling, the rain has arrived. And this green line right here out in advance of the storms, that's the gust front. That's where the strongest winds will be. And then behind that gust front is where the rain, thunder, lightning, all of that will fill in behind it. So there you have it. Meantime, farther to the south, looks like some nasty storms heading at least toward Corpus Christi. Doesn't look like there are any warnings for those. Let's look farther to the north, see how our friends in Waco are doing. Just gentle, moderate rain. Dallas, ooh, you can actually kind of see the spin. See that? You see how there's like, you can almost make out the counterclockwise spin of this latest little vortex, mesoscale convective vortex basically pushing in. See how that? Right in there. See that spin? And then the cold front. I'm curious to see, let's find out where the actual cold front is analyzed as being currently. I will add that in here for you. Okay, so this is interesting. It's actually showing a tandem of cold fronts. One that's moving through Austin, another one that's lingering a little bit farther toward the west. Just because we haven't checked in on this in a while, I'm curious to see what temperatures are looking like and if there's a big difference now that we've seen the rain, cooled air move in. So yeah, there is a pretty substantial difference in LaGrange, where you have not yet seen the rain move through. 78 degrees is your temperature. In Austin, we have dropped all the way down to 61. In Pflugerville, you are in the 50s, 59 degrees. Hello, that sounds amazing. Okay, another thing, let's look at the dew points. The dew point, that's that measure of moisture. That's how you can tell how humid it is. Higher dew points are more supportive of being able to basically keep storms going. Lower dew points are less conducive for being able to sustain storms because they're just not as juicy, if you will. So the higher dew points still extend from Giddings to LaGrange out ahead of the cold front. Lower dew points are filtering in areas toward the west. And we look at the statewide dew points, see where the really dry areas. So let's extend it out to the state and pull on out. Oh yes, take a look. Extremely dry air encompasses the Panhandle in West Texas with dew points really dry in the 40s. And look at this soupy air. Corpus, Laredo, even Houston, dew points way up here in the misery zone. So typically what will happen is once the cold front pushes through, the amount of instability lessens and the potential for anything severe starts to wane. Occasionally we'll have like a little upper level disturbance that will further enhance the storms, but typically they're pretty much winding down once the cold front pushes through. Let me go ahead and check in on see this little pixel here. It's showing 74 miles per hour, so it would not shock me if we still are dealing with some potential damage, maybe some additional power outages, even all the way out into eastern sections of Lee County. Just something to keep in mind. Let's see, National Weather Service has a report of large tree limbs snapped. That's in Karnes City, which is down in the San Antonio viewing area, associated with a localized wake low, which typically after a cold front pushes through and after a storm system moves through, you can sometimes see enhancement of winds even behind the system. I don't know if we'll be able to necessarily make that out looking at this radar view, but let me go ahead and see if there's, yeah, you can actually kind of see that behind the system there are some stronger winds that are developing. Let me go and check in on storm reports and see what everything looks like when you piece it together. Let's go to the 24-hour storm reports. All right. So I think this latest report of that wind gust was down. Yep, the wake low in Kennedy Airport, 63 mile per hour wind gust reported. And I think this is probably the report of those tree limbs down. Yep, tree limbs snapped with a localized wake low. There you go. Oh, and we do have a few spotty reports that have come in through Travis and Hayes. Okay, let's check this one. Northern Hayes County, 1-inch tree limbs up north near Pflugerville, 1-inch tree limbs broken. Let's see, 60 mile per hour wind, that was the one at the airport. There are some smaller hail reports coming in, dime-sized hail, which is not severe, but certainly notable. So yeah, it looks like there were several little hail reports too. But overall, I think we've done pretty well, all things considered. Some of us getting some decent rain. The wind's windy, but not atrociously so. And the leading edge now making its way through Fayette County. Come on down. LaGrange, you are next for the gusty wind game. I think this will be very clear of our area by sunrise, given how fast it's all moving through. So only a small area, only Fayette County currently dealing with the severe wind gusts moving in. Yet another warning has been expanded as this whole thing continues to work its way toward the coastline. And it's a big warning. As you can see, this huge expanse is now the latest computer model, basically accommodating for the fact that these winds are going to continue progressing off toward the south and east, making their way toward the coastline as the cold front pushes closer and closer as well. All right, so time is 12:38. And 12:45 is the expiration time for the severe thunderstorm warning. All of Fayette County now under a severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. And the entire system is going to quickly push east. And after that, any leftover rain will just be welcome rain, kind of helping out the situation. Let me see. Jennifer says you take it the storms from Marble Falls to Killeen weekend enough it's safe to sleep. It is absolutely safe enough for you to sleep. All of the yellow that you can see in Marble Falls is just light to moderate rain and is no longer severe. Let me go ahead and pop up the lightning. There may still be some lightning around there. Yeah, there's still a little bit of lightning, but you're not going to be dealing with anything that would cause significant damage. So you are good to go. Flatonia, wind is picking up. Thank you, Melissa, for your report. Let's see, that Leading edge is not quite, oh yeah, there it is. There, you see it? That is the wind on the leading edge. And then the rain will be not too far behind it. So you exactly captured where the strong winds are pushing through. The gust of wind that precedes the storms. Let's see, Lindsay says, is there lightning in the storms in the hill country? There is still some lightning, but it is not severe. Andrew says, so we're not the next contestant on The Price is Right. I'm glad you caught on to that. Jeremy says, you're the best. You're very welcome, my pleasure. I do get a little loopy late at night when I'm tracking storms, but on the same token, I kind of enjoy being able to follow the storms and track what's going on, and especially whenever there aren't technical issues. I get so frustrated sometimes whenever it's like, oh, this microphone's not working and all this kind of thing. So I think overall, aside from the fact that I tried to do our field trip and it didn't quite work, I think the overall night has gone pretty well. As you can see, new severe thunderstorm warning is now in effect. That does include LaGrange and all of Fayette County, also the Giddings area, also the Bastrop area, and this is now in effect until 1:30 a.m. So current time is 12:40. Warning, the new one is in effect until 1:30 a.m. and it is for winds to 60 and hail up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. So this is the last deal. So as it works out, since the warning's in effect until 1:30, we will yet have something for Austin to track once he gets in here. Initially I was thinking, well, this is going to be all gone by the time we do shift change, but he actually will be able to track some of this stuff as it pushes through. One thing also though is I'm going to have to, like, inevitably there's like busy work that piles up. I still need to clip my 10 o'clock weather forecast and post it to the web. Or it's already posted to the web, I take it back. I need to clip it and post it to social media. So there are little things that I still need to do even once Austin gets here, but I'm going to try to make quick work of it. Tyler, you are very welcome. I'm so glad it wasn't bad. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that there was softball-sized hail in Midland, Texas, 4 inches in diameter. There were some really awful storms, but fortunately, we have kind of weathered the storms pretty well, all things considered. Lindsay says, hope no other wake lows. Yeah, no doubt. They can bring some very, like, unexpected winds, and I feel like we've seen several of those move through this season already. Jennifer says, you used to live in Illinois, been a year in Texas now. Storms are no joke. This is so true. So I lived in Indiana for a time, and I will say that the severe thunderstorms do happen there as well, but I feel like Texas storms just are a different beast in general. Let's go back to some of the other storms, or comments, I should say. Benjamin, you're very welcome. Elizabeth Maynard had really scary wind. Any tornado danger? There is not. In this instance tonight, we've been fortunate. I was actually kind of concerned initially that we could possibly see some spin-ups, but velocities have been pretty uniform in that it's been more or less overall straight line winds. There's a little, which I don't think it even is anything of note, there's a little something here near Ledbetter, but in general, these have been, very standard straight line storms without anything concerning, which is kind of a good thing. Yeah, the only spot that even looks like remotely even anything at all is now east of the Giddings area. So overall, I think that we've done well. Just with the rain moving through. Hey, look, Bryan College Station. Our Aggie friends at College Station are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. This one has just been issued and it's in effect until 1:30 a.m. So that is the newest, the latest, and the greatest. I still hear thunder overhead. Also, I just saw someone tweeted me a picture of lightning. If you do have any photos or videos that you would like to share, I always appreciate that. I may not get to them right away because if I'm doing Facebook Live, it's kind of tough. But yeah, the new National Weather Service warning for Austin County, Brazos County, Burleson, Colorado, Grimes, Madison, Waller, and Washington County till 1:30 a.m. And that was just issued by the National Weather Service office in Houston. A 47-mile-per-hour wind gust was reported in Pleasanton. That's south of our area. Let's see. Kelsey, estimated time will be out of Giddings. You know what? It's moving so fast. I would say the worst of the storms are currently over you as we speak. The storms themselves are moving to the southeast at about 40 at last check. Let's see. I mean, they're moving along pretty quickly. I would say within the next hour, your lightning will start to at least let up somewhat, but the heavy wind and the heavy rain should start to lessen probably within the next 30 minutes. And then you'll be like the rest of us. For instance, it's still thundering in Austin, but the rain rates have gone way down. Just to give you an idea, let me go ahead and I'll take off the severe thunderstorm warnings, and I'll just look at rain rates. So right now the rain rate is only 0.05 inches per hour in southeast Austin, yet there's still some lightning. Those of you in the Hill Country, 1/4 inch per hour rain rate into areas of Blanco County, near Spicewood, about 1/3 of an inch per hour rain rate. And in contrast, in Giddings, where you're seeing the worst of the weather right now, the rain rate, I bet you anything it'll be like 1 or 2 inches per hour. Okay, 1 inch per hour showing up, 1.9 inches per hour, and 1.4 inches per hour. So there's considerable heavy rain that still has to push through, but it's making progress. It's quickly moving in. The gust front has pushed through LaGrange, so the worst of the wind has already made it east of you, and the storms are yet to come, but they're almost there. Andrew, it's like we're reading each other's minds. Andrew reporting thunder in LaGrange. Thank you. Tyler says, rather have all the rain instead of any wildfires. So true. I'm with you. Kelsey, you're very welcome. Courtney says, I went through here quick. Let's see. Tyler says, also glad the tornado risk was low and it was just wind. Same. Lindsay, you're very welcome. See how far back through these questions I can get. Jeremy said, hi, with lots of eyes. Hi, back. Oh, Paxton was wanting a rainfall total for Milam County. Yes, of course I can take a look at it. And in fact, I can look at a couple of different things. So first off, we'll go and look at the 24-hour rainfall totals, and we'll go up to Milam for you in just a sec. It's loading. It'll take half a second for it to do so. Courtney said it calmed down in Bastrop. Good. Laura's confused. I think that was the wake low. Let's see. Okay. Oh, did my computer decide it was going to get stuck? See how it's got the whirling, swirling blue thing of death? We'll see how long it takes for it to figure itself out. Occasionally, the computer just decides it wants to brain fart. And if that's the case, I might have to restart it. Typically, if there's a lot going on, if it's a really active day and I've been on for, see, it's saying it's not responding. I'm going to say wait for it to respond. We'll see how long it takes. Potentially, this may be the kiss of death. I might have to actually start it up again or something like that. Let's see, the National Weather Service watch has been canceled. It is no longer in effect for a good number of our counties. Let's see. It has been canceled for Blanco, Burnett, Hayes, Travis, and Williamson counties. The watch is no more for those counties. That's good news, isn't it? All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have to reset this thing, so I'm going to put it on something else in the meantime, which is totally fine. Let's look at... I'll pull up some rainfall totals from the Texas Mesonet. And maybe this might be able to help answer the Milam County question as well, as far as how much rain. Let's see. And let me put on, I'll go ahead and put on 48-hour rainfall and see where we stand with that. This is delayed. It's not going to have the latest. This only has like from yesterday's rainfall map. Just kidding. Here, I'll show something else. We will put radar scope on the map. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Is we're going to pop up radar scope here. Boom! And while that's happening, I'm going to restart this silly computer that I ended up getting stuck in all of my brilliance. Good times, good times. Closing one thing down. I think I can animate this too, just to make it more interesting and exciting for you. Just so you know, on the left-hand side, over here, is the radar, which you can see is moving into Fayette County. And on the right-hand side is the velocity, and that's showing the wind as it's continuing to press eastward. And if you zoom in closely, you can actually see, whoops, not that closely, I'm still hearing thunder outside. You can see with the areas of enhanced wind, for instance, briefly into eastern Lee County, right about there, you could see the higher winds right in there. And also, if you look, remember I told you the only spot that looked like it was spinning was this spot near Carmine, into northeastern Fayette County and southeastern Lee County. So that can also be consistent with, let me go ahead and clear this. This little icon here shows that there is rotation. That little spinny thing is indicating that there's rotation within the storm. So then you can actually look and say, okay, so it's showing a mesocyclone, which actually can be, depending on how strong these mesocyclones are, can sometimes be an indicator of, you know, potential for a tornado to form. But then looking also at this, there is, oh, I don't know if you saw it on the on here where it says TVS false. So a TVS is a tornado vortex signature. So it says that is false, meaning although it is detecting a circulation, it is not showing a tornado vortex signature. So for what it's worth, yes, that storm is rotating. No, it is not producing a tornado. But most of these storms haven't even had any rotation with them, which has been pretty phenomenal, because it seems like that sometimes can catch you off guard whenever you're tracking a line of storms where it's not as easy to detect where there might be a tornadic circulation. And thankfully, we have not had a single tornado warning during the entire duration of tonight, which is fantastic. All right, so I'm still resetting this other thing. Do I want to stop it? Yes, I want to stop it. Okay, I just stopped it, and we're approaching 1 a.m. You know what that means? That means shift change is coming up. I'm reloading the computer. It'll just be up just a half a second or so. I say half a second, more like 30 seconds, but you get the idea. So anyway, Laura says you got a notification about a severe thunderstorm warning in Wilco, 12:53 a.m. And the severe thunderstorm warning, it's the one until 1:30 in the morning. It's for eastern Wilco. That includes Thrall and Taylor. And that would have been at, well, there was one at 12:26. I haven't gotten anything since then. It's probably the existing one that was still in effect, Laura. Let me come over here to the National Weather Service. And continues. If you got an alert at 12:53, I'm not sure what that would have been. The watch was canceled for Williamson County at 12:48. Severe thunderstorm warning was canceled for Williamson County at 12:39. So I'm going to say whatever you got for Wilco doesn't make sense to me. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Unless it was just talking about the cancellation, especially if you just got it at 12:53. That's a little bizarre because I don't see anything indicative of that. Only cancellations are, that's the only thing I've seen listed. That's weird. You got me. You say maybe an alert gone rogue. There you go. Alert gone rogue. That could be. Double checking. Yeah, I got a thing about a strong thunderstorm until 2 a.m. for Milam County. But nothing more than that. I'm actually amazed, to be honest with you, that things have not gone worse tonight. I was kind of prepared for it to be a lot of on-air stuff, and instead, now that we're approaching the midnight hour, oh, and I just realized I had my mic on that whole time. Hopefully, well, I don't think Austin will probably need to go on. I'm going to de-mic. I would hate for his battery to run out if it had to go on for some reason. He's sitting here on the whole time, not even being used. All right. Work microphone officially off. Sorry about that noise as it was sliding through my dress. Putting these aside, these are going to be for Austin. Kelsey says seems to have calmed down a bit in Giddings. That is great news. Glad to hear it. I think my computer has reset. Let's go ahead and pull it back up. Yes, it has reset. So let me pull it up and we can go back to this radar view. I do think it's nice having options though. Load this up and toggle this off. So this is going to show where the severe thunderstorm watch still is in effect. Pull that off and just have to toggle on. There we go. So this is where the severe thunderstorm watches are still in effect. Milam, Lee, Bastrop, Caldwell, and Fayette County. For Fayette County, it's until 5 a.m. For the other counties, it's until 3 a.m. We've seen some nice improvement. It's good. Still hearing thunder outside. Dun, dun, dun. All right, look at radar. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Still a lot of lightning. I'll be right back. I'm just going to put these over on the weather desk for Austin. All right. That is done. Another thing that I typically am always wearing, which I can take off now, is my earpiece. I've got a huge cord that I wear, and then here is this little thing that pops into my ear. It's kind of like what Secret Service people wear whenever they're like talking, you know, high profile stuff. But anyway, that's how I'm able to hear the control room and time cues and all that good stuff. All right, so that's there. Oh, by the way, you guys, I did not eat dinner tonight, but you know what I did earlier as a snack? And I bet many of you will not be surprised by this whatsoever. Oops, it's upside down. This was my dinner tonight. And they were really good. My favorite thing in the whole wide world. Someone the other day was asking me, they said, like, if you could only have one candy or one food, what would it be? And I was like, Twizzlers. Like, no brainer, Twizzlers, just how it is. Oh, your computer said I was still live streaming? That is weird. Well, I will not be live streaming in 1 minute. Andrew said, I bet she was doing the Twizzlers thing. Honestly, things like Twizzlers are what get me through my nights whenever it's a long day. But yeah, I was fully prepared. I was like, and it was so funny too, because when I was getting ready for work, I filled my little thing full of, I decided not to do coffee. I did iced tea instead. So I did iced tea in there. And then I grabbed the Twizzlers. And you know how the bag crinkles so you can hear it? As soon as the crinkling started, my husband looked up at me. He's like, what you got there? And I was like, dinner. Oh, good times, good times. All right. So far so good. Andrew, the fact that you're on here and you live in LaGrange and you're not telling me that the sky is falling means that these storms are probably strong, but not end of the world strong, which is good to hear. I think we've managed fairly well. The lowest rainfall totals appear that they were in Mason and Gillespie counties, with many spots getting less than an inch. The highest total so far looks like it was in Burnett County. I am going to go ahead. I don't know if the person who has been so patient waiting for me to talk about Milam County rainfall totals is still here, but now that the computer is not locked up anymore, I can show you the radar estimated rainfall for Milam. This is going to show 24-hour totals. And the actual gauge in Thorndale shows 1.05 inches here. But I can do a query to just kind of look at estimates, and all the spots in yellow are generally 2 to 3 inch radar estimates. But now let's look at rainfall over the last 4 days. And this will be a real telltale sign because there were areas that did get a ton of rain Saturday night into Sunday morning. Boom! Look at that. Milam County, you guys are like crazy in the rainfall. Over 5 inches of rain in many areas between, 6 inches of rain in many areas, the combination of the Sunday storms plus these storms. So that's pretty impressive stuff. Just for, information purposes, this is the last 4 days for all of our area. Looks like the highest, way up north in that little pixel of purple, 7.2 inches. Again, on Monday night, it wasn't much, but there were some spots in western Travis, western Williamson, and eastern Burnett that saw a round of storms. And so the combination of both rounds of storms between the two means about 5 inches of rain. And also the fact that you got some rain on Saturday night as well. So that's pretty good stuff. All right, one more look at radar, and then I really am going to sign off. Woohoo! Oh, there you go. Remember how I was talking about how winds eventually would catch up to Giddings and LaGrange? You've seen some 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But it's encouraging to see that the wind gusts have really kind of not been nearly as strong off to the west anymore. Things really diminishing and really improving. Guess what?
What?
We've got Austin Burks in the house.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you can see him, but that is my cue. Okay, Austin, wave. We can see you.
A double wave.
Oh, you got the double wave. Okay, you see him? There he goes. Okay. So let's see. Andrew says that you heard thunder. That's about it. Haven't gotten to go and look out the window. You know what? I think you're pretty good, honestly, from what I can tell. Nothing exciting new has happened. And let's see, Melissa says in Flatonia, the rain started. You are so very welcome. My pleasure. I will tell you, sometimes Fayette County can be like in the 4 a.m. time frame on some of these storm systems. The fact that this has all raced eastward so quickly for a change made it so that I could carry all the way through to get you guys in Fayette County as well. But I think it's safe to say that we have weathered the worst. Nothing any more substantial is expected to happen. And so that is my swan song, you guys. Thanks as always for checking in, and hope that you don't wake up tomorrow morning and find that you got all this damage you didn't realize happened. It wouldn't surprise me if there's some tree limbs down that people are unaware of that they discover in the morning. And Andrew says, Austin goes, what? You say you haven't gotten to look at the, okay, gotcha. As always, you can get updates at cbsaustin.com. Let me pop that up here for you. There you go. That sad headline about the shooting severe thunderstorm watch. I need to update that graphic. It is old, as many other counties have been cleared from that. You can see the severe thunderstorm threat continuing to push off toward the east. All right, guys, take care. Have a great night. We will talk to you again in the morning. And should anything unforeseen pop in and happen, Austin Burks has you covered throughout the rest of the night and into the morning. Take care, you guys. Have a good one.